Hello everyone, I am Dattatray Nikam. Welcome you all on our channel eFunda for new day, new topic. And our today's topic is what is project part P2. This is a continuation video of our previous video, that is what is project part P1. Please visit to our channel eFunda and watch the previous part P1 so as to maintain the continuity in knowledge sharing. If you are new to our channel, then please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press bell icon to get latest updates on our channel. Let's begin with our today's topic. What is project part P2? Type of project contract. The project contract comprises responsibility, reimbursement and risk, and basically covers the following: data given to the contractor, precise scope of work, there should not be overlapping, undefined or unallocated work. The relevant performance parameter measurement for fulfilling the contract. The project contract generally include the schedule of work, technical specification, scope drawing, special conditions of the contract, that is a responsibility matrix, and a special write-up to ensure clarity of the project scope. Moving on to defining responsibility. In practice, a clear definition of a scope and responsibility is always not possible. Hence, we should try and define the scope and respective responsibility. One can refer into the attached table where one can see the scope of work, that is activities, customer or a client, and responsibility of the engineering contractor and third party contractor. This is how the table is defining, which includes design of process, basic engineering of a project, detail engineering, procurement, equipment supply, subcontracting, commissioning, project management, construction management, and finance management. And one can see the node below. Y is the full responsibility, R is the partial responsibility, and N is the no responsibility. This is how the responsibility matrix always prepared, and this may be helpful for defining the responsibility while working on the project. Type of reimbursement. The customer or client may be refer the responsibility to describe the contract arrangement between the client and the contractor. The contractor may refer it by type of reimbursement made. Some common types of contracts we are going to see today, which are used in engineering and construction industries, are given or described below. First type is a lump sum contract. In this type of contract, the customer and the contractor agrees to perform the work or specified work for a fixed price, also called as a fixed fee contract. This type of contract is suitable if the scope and schedule of the project are defined sufficiently to allow the contractor to estimate the project cost. And a few examples of such type of contracts are bridge project, fencing, minor road widening, urban construction, reconstruction, oil and gas field development. Moving on to the second, that is a unit price contract. In this contract is basically based on estimated quantities of item included in the scope of work. The final price of the project is dependent on the quantities needed to carry out the actual work. Only suitable for construction and a supplier project where different types of their items, not on their number. Cost plus contract. In this type of contract, there is an agreement between purchaser who agrees to pay the cost of all the resources such as labor and material plus any amount for a contract overhead and profit. That is a percentage of a labor and material cost. This type of contract is favored when the scope of work is indeterminate or highly uncertain with respect to labor, material, and equipment are uncertain. Now we will see various types of contract in brief. Cost plus fixed percentage contract. Compensation is based on a percentage of the cost. Second type, cost plus fixed fee contract. That is, compensation is based on a fixed sum independent of the final project cost. Third type, cost plus fixed fee with guaranteed maximum price contract. Compensation is based on a fixed sum of money. The total project cost will not exceed an agreed upper limit. Fourth point, cost plus fixed fee with bonus contract. Compensation is based on a fixed sum of money. A bonus is given if the project is finished below budget and ahead of schedule, etc. Fifth type, cost plus fixed fee with guaranteed maximum price and a bonus contract. Compensation is based on a fixed sum of money. The total project cost will not exceed an agreed upper limit, and a bonus is given if the project is finished below budget, ahead of schedule, etc. And sixth and last type, that is cost plus fixed fee with agreement for sharing any cost saving contract. Compensation is based on a fixed sum of money. Any cost saving are shared with the buyer and the contractor. This is how the cost plus contracts are defined, and various types of subcontracts. Under that, we have seen the details of each contract. Incentive contract. Compensation is based on the contracting performance according to an agreed target budget, schedule, and or quality. There are various types. We will see few in this under incentive contract. Fixed price incentive contract. Fixed price incentive contracts are performed when the contract cost and performance requirement are reasonably certain. Another type, cost reimbursement incentive contract. This type of contract specifies a target cost, a target fee, minimum and maximum fees, and a fee adjustment formula. After project performance, the fee payable to the contractor is determined in accordance with the agreed formula. Moving on to another type, percentage of construction fee contract. These are commonly used for engineering contracts. Compensation is based on a percentage of the construction cost. This is how the various types of reimbursement in the projects are done. Categories of a project. Every project includes various objects and goals to be accomplished by an unique process. Projects are broadly classified based on the various characteristics followed during a project's life cycle. We will see details. First, objective. A project has a fixed set of objectives. Once the objectives have been achieved, the project closes to exit. Second, lifespan. A project cannot continue endlessly and it must come to an end. Most likely, end date is always required. Third, single entity. A project is a one entity and is normally entrusted to one responsibility center while participants in the projects are many. Fourth point, teamwork. A project calls for teamwork. The team is constituted of a member belonging to different discipline, organization, even countries. Fifth point, life cycle. A project has a life cycle reflected by growth, maturity, and decay. It naturally has a learning component. Sixth point, uniqueness. Two projects are not exactly similar, even if the plants are identical or are merely duplicated. The location, the infrastructure, the agencies, and the people make each project unique. 7 point, a change. A project sees many changes throughout its life cycle. While some of these changes may not have any major impact, there can be some changes which will change the entire character or course of the project. 8 point successive principle. What is going to happen during the life cycle of a project is not fully known at any stage of the project. The details are finalized successively with the passage of time. More is known about a project when it enters the construction phase than what was known, say, during the detail engineering phase. 9. Made to order. Project is always made to the order of its customer. The customer stipulates various requirements and puts constraints within which the project must be executed. 10th point, unity in diversity. A project is a complex set of thousands of varieties. The varieties are in terms of technology, equipment and materials, machinery and people, work culture and ethics, but they remain interrelated, and unless this is so, they either do not belong to the project or will never allow the project to be completed. 11 point, high level of subcontracting. A high percentage of a work in a project is done through contractors. The greater the complexity of the project, the greater will be the extent of contracting. Normally, around 80% of the work in a project is done through subcontractor. 12 point, risk and uncertainty. Every project has a risk and uncertainty associated with it. The degree of risk and uncertainty will depend on how a project has passed through its various life cycle phases. An ill-defined project will have an extremely high degree of risk and uncertainty. Risk and uncertainty not only exist in research and development project but are present in every kind of a project what is being executed. Categories of a project. Normally, the factor that determine the effort needed in executing a project are the location, type, technology used, size, scope, and speed of the project. National and international type of project categories with their subtypes and scale. One can see in a below table where we have defined the project, their type, national and international, non-industrial, industrial, and further categorized as a non-conventional, high technology, conventional technology, low technology, and further high technology is divided into mega, major, medium, and medium size project. Further, the major projects are defined into the grassroots, expansion, modification, and further division to normal, crash, and disaster project. These are the type of the categories, and one can see in the definition like normal project, a adequate time is allowed for implementation of the project scope. Cost crash project, additional capital costs are incurred to gain the time. Maximum overlapping of a phases is encouraged, and compromises in terms of quality are also not ruled out. This is the type of categories. One can see the table below for better understanding of categories of a various project. Project structure. The project structure is defined based on the standard that will be used by the project team during the project phases. Project communication. This defines a reporting structure where the team members follow a procedure to highlight project issues, hold a regular official instruction status meeting, and any other project specific communication standard. Documentation standard. This defines how to create a training material and documentation related to the project work, including standard template of application forms and memos that the team should use for the documentation. The most significant documentation is done during the planning phase and given baseline. The worksheets are provided with the design team, planning and collection to facilitate the former and third party baseline documentation. Change control. For any project to be successful, the team should be capable of maintaining control over any changes which might affect the original scope of the project. Assigning a role and responsibilities to the team member. Certain resources are provided to design the team during different phases of the project. The project structure should include milestone when assignment of a team members can be carried out. Planning for risk. Risk is defined as the possibility of a suffering a loss, or more specifically the possibility of a negative result that is assumed in order to pursue an opportunity for gain in the project. This is how the project structure is categorized, and these are the minimum points to be taken while defining any project structure. For better understanding of a project structure, one can refer below flowchart where various types of committees are involved while executing any project. It includes steering committee, technical advisory committee, and the adaptive measurement team involvement. This is how the project structure should be defined, and accordingly it has to be managed. Now we are including this series, we are concluding on our topic of what is project series T2. So far, we have covered various topics under our videos, that is part T1, where we have covered introduction to project, project flowchart, project team, project purpose, project scope, project work methodology, and in this video, that is part P2, type of contract, type of reimbursement, characteristic of a project, categories of a project, project structure. We hope that these videos will help you to understand better on a project, and if you are new to our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and press bell icon to get latest updates and reviews on various subjects and any upload of our new video on our channel eFunda. Thanks for watching eFunda. Stay tuned for new day, new topic. Till the time, thank you.